record another live tarot reading for you guys. But today I'm actually going to use some runes and actually pull some charms as well. I wanted to change things up a little bit, and I haven't really done kind of like a creative reading like this for a while, so I was like, I'm just gonna do some runes and some charms, and I'm also going to pull some tarot cards. So before I jump in, I do want to let everybody know that I'm still offering private readings. If you would like to get a private reading, all you need to do is check out my website, oracledaphne.com. The link is going to be in the description box below. And you would send a payment through PayPal. You could send it through Venmo or Cash App, but you would need to email me to let me know that you're going to do that. And and then we'd get you scheduled. And then as far as donations, I'm still accepting donations. All donations are really appreciated this time. I did another post asking for donations, and I think 65 people have viewed that video, and nobody has donated so far. So wanted to let everybody know that I am still accepting donations. All the links to be able to donate through Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal are in the description box, but I will also put them in the comments. And this video is sponsored by Jackery. I'm still an affiliate with them. Jackery sells solar powered generators, which are really cool. And I really strongly suggest and very much recommend everybody get one going into this winter season, but also there's just a lot of stuff with power outages going forward that are yet to come. So I would definitely encourage everybody to have one of those. That's going to be really useful and handy. So I think I want to start by pulling a card. I am pulling from the Trees Oracle deck, and the Wisdom of the Trees Oracle deck. I use this deck when I kind of want to get an alternative perspective. Interesting. So the first card I pulled was this Suji tree, which I haven't pulled in a very long time. And if you notice, there's this interesting bird down below. There's this bird down below. And to me, that looks like a heron. And in my life path archetypes, the heron archetype is one of the best ones that I have, actually. And it's a sign of very good luck. If you're anticipating a callback of any kind, this is where you get the callback almost immediately. So you should get the callback today, tomorrow, the next day, Monday, Tuesday. You might even get it tomorrow, even though it's Sunday. I'm recording this on a Saturday. So the heron is kind of like after a long time of maybe struggling, this is when you get things kind of turn in your favor and go your way. It is also a sign, the heron in that archetype is a sign that there's been some grief that you're recovering from, some sort of grief, and it's sort of like good news coming after a period of sadness or a period of depression or a period of struggle. So it is to me like one of the best signs. And the heron path also originally started when I found this, I think it was like a drink coaster. I still have it actually on the bathroom floor in a place that I was working. And I believe I was working at this restaurant like a dog, and just like, oh my God, like I would sleep so long, and then to the last very second where until I actually had to leave for work, and then I would cry as soon as I got to my car all the way home. And then go right to sleep. I remember that time period. That was right when I moved to Omaha. And so some of you may be working a lot and sleeping a lot or needing to sleep, or there's something about being overworked and like not getting enough rest. But like potentially you might be doing a job just to do it for the money, but it's like very hard physically, or it's very hard emotionally or energetically. And maybe you're trying to find something that's not so demanding. And when I found this coaster, and the coaster had a heron on it, okay, um, I really needed to find another job. The boss there would scream at me. I mean, it was like Hell's Kitchen. Would scream at me. If you could imagine this, while I was on the line and working, and I hated my life so much at that time, but I got a job working in this medical office doing billing, and it was like all of a sudden I was sitting on a cloud. And I didn't think that that was coming, but that was absolutely a sign. And then the funny thing is that after I left the clinic, there was this lake that I would go to by my house. This place called Walnut Creek in Papillion, Nebraska. And there was all kinds of wildlife there, but I'd see herons there. And I actually looked it up to see what a heron was a sign of. And the day that I looked that up was the day that I got the call back working for another healthcare place. And it was a sign, like it was just like the sign that I needed. And there was another time I saw a heron where it was after the death of someone that I loved and who I talked about on this channel before, and the main reason I moved to Omaha. And it was like a breakthrough moment, that things were going to get better, that things were going to improve. So for some of you, that have needed things to improve or things to get better, to me, this bird and this card is an absolute sign. I want to look up in the book and see what the Suji tree messages. I haven't memorized them all. This Oracle deck is a deck that I don't use that much, mainly just because there's a lot of information, It's interesting. I had a friend with this name who actually died when he was in college. So again, you may be recovering from a period of grief from somebody close to you, or you might get a call that said, there was a death in the family around this time. Suji tree is sacredness. Says it is common to see Suji trees growing near temples and shrines in Japan, where they are regarded as sacred trees. Many of them are also extremely old, which adds to their venerability. The Suji tree growing in the grounds of the Shinto Sugawara Shrine in Yamanaka Onsen, Japan, is thought to be at least 2,000 years old. The Jomen Shuji in Yukushima is possibly even older, as one of the reasons why the island has been designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Suji wood is light red, resistant to decay, and used widely for building. There's two messages. I can remind you of the importance of finding a connection with all the invisible spirits that surround you throughout your life. I can help you honor them every day and to remember that all aspects of nature are sacred. This is very interesting because I started doing like a series of posts on Instagram where I started to feel like the work that I was doing over the summer with the plants and the gardening and stuff and seed saving was all, there were certain things that I would do that are very sacred, or things that I started to see as kind of being sacred. And some of you need to kind of develop this a little bit more. Some of you may already be, very connected to spirit and nature, but some of you, it's like, I used to go to a friend's house quite often, and like after I traveled there, it was odd because all I really wanted to was to like light a candle when I was there and I'd visit, and they never had any candles. They never lit any candles. They didn't really do any kind of sacred things. Like they didn't, boil any herbs, smudge any sage, do any kind of anointing with herbal, essential oils. And it was just interesting that back then, which was many, many years ago, that I had this kind of impulse to do more sacred things, more sacred activities. And sometimes the sacred activity is just lighting a candle. Sometimes it's smudging your space. Sometimes it's sprinkling a little bit of salt on your carpet and vacuuming it up. It's one of those things where, like, little things are, when you're interacting with plants and nature, little things like that can be sacred. And for some of you, it's going to be beneficial for you to kind of interact with spirit in this way. So this is kind of a reminder to anybody, to all light workers who may, practice these kinds of things, to do more, but then also, and develop things that are kind of, sacred and special activities for yourself personally. And I don't know what that is. But some of you, it's creating like maybe a little ritual or something that you can do. Maybe writing a little note to yourself, doing some meditation, whatever it is that you consider sacred. But to me, it's the easy ones are lighting a candle and interacting with plants and nature in a sacred way. So planting a seed somewhere, buying some dirt if you don't have any, putting a little plant in a windowsill somewhere, watering that plant, making that kind of like a good habit. Things like that will be positive for you and your environment. The message from the tree actually says someone's behavior is troubling you. Perhaps you feel that they should be behaving differently, or that you don't understand their motives. Try to rise above these difficulties and to see their true spiritual nature instead. And to me, this is a very challenging message. To me, from the trees oracle, this is like saying, girl, or, dude, you've got some drama. Or it's like saying that, you've got some stuff going on, that you need to really work on as far as your interactions with people. Maybe you have a beef with someone, or someone has a beef with you. Maybe you have some unresolved issues with someone or with some family member. Maybe there's a person that you don't like. And we've all been there. We've all been there. I'm going to tell you not to like, just to start liking them. It's one of the things where I always think that like changing behaviors, especially with family, is the hardest thing to get someone else to do. So you say, please, can you stop throwing your socks on the floor? And what does somebody do? They continue to throw their socks on the floor. So like, even so, like within a household, within family, I don't know how to advise how to get people to listen, but it's important that they do listen. Maybe talk to them and say, hey, I need you to listen. I need you to hear what I'm saying. I need you to implement these behaviors because it's going to cause me so much stress and grief if you do not. Or something like that. I'm not a counselor in the way that, like, I don't know the right words to say to get somebody to change their behaviors, but like, there may be some repeating patterns in your life or within a relationship or within a certain dynamic where you said, hey, this is what I need, these are my needs, can you please meet my needs, and there's no change in behavior. For some of you, someone's behavior is pissing you off, and like there's nothing that you can really do about it. Some of you, it's like your behavior that needs to change, and you're either refusing to do it or you're not really hearing it, like it's not important to you. There's a childlikeness to this where we all have like an inner child, okay? And we all have that stubborn, resistant child that doesn't want to do what we're told to do. That doesn't want to change when somebody tells us, hey, you have to do this. Hey, pick up your socks. Hey, da 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 da. So like there might be some resistance in you to doing what somebody asks you to do, but it's really important at this time that you listen. If someone asks you to do something that changes, that requires a behavioral change, then that is something that's really important for you to do. It's outright disrespectful to say to a partner, especially in a love partnership relationship, hey, this is what needs to change in your behavior. This is not what's not okay. And if they don't change, then that's to me a sign of disrespect. People like, when you have a living situation, you can have roommates, and you learn from when you have roommates how to be respectful. Because if you have more than one roommate, or if you have more than one person living in a household, everybody has to be respectful or else everything goes to crap. Like if one person leaves their dishes in the sink for like 3 or 4 days, everything's backed up unless somebody else has to do it. And then again, of course, it's not their responsibility. And of course, that's a sign that the behavior from that person that left their dishes in the sink for 3 days needs to change. So again, this is where I would implement, if you have a household, this is having a serious conversation with the partner and saying, these are the things that we're going to implement. These are the things that we're going to change. Like when, I was living at home a long time ago with my family, my mom made it so that my brothers and I would kind of rotate who cleaned the bathroom every week. And we got into that habit, and that actually lasted for quite some time, which was surprising to me because we resisted, my brothers and I, when we were kids, like all kids, resist doing what we're told to do because we question the authority, and we do it just out of stubbornness. So I feel like you're dealing with a stubborn person, or some of you are dealing with someone that's being disrespectful to you in some way. If you've specifically said, hey, I need you to clean the dishes, and they don't do it, that is a sign of disrespect. So it's interesting that as I've gotten older, I've appreciated having that healthy balance where if you ask somebody to do it and they do it, that's a sign of respect. Like I had an old roommate, and I only asked him to take out the trash, I think twice, but he did it without questioning, without giving me a hard time every single time. And I took care of like everything else in the apartment. I vacuumed, I cleaned the kitchen. We had this thing with our laundry where if he left his laundry, I would fold his laundry for him as kind of a favor so that I would be able to, use the dryer when he was done. And it was like a sign of respect. I could have just thrown his laundry on the ground, but that would have been disrespectful, and he could have said, you know what, Beth, I'm not effing taking the trash out. Why should I take the trash out for you? That would have been also disrespectful. So I think adjusting your attitude and your approach, if someone asks you to do something, just do it. Don't question. Don't give an attitude. Just do it. And teach your kids to not question, don't give an attitude, and just do it. And suck it up and not have an issue with it and be respectful. That's the thing. So I don't know why I'm going on about this, but that's the message that's coming through this one card here. I want to pull, my hand gets so bent out of shape when I hold the phone for too long. I want some charms here. and see what we get. I collect little, it says, great, you're ready for a party. Little fortunes from fortune cookies. It's an interesting bunch. Some of you are going to be more social, like either you're going to go out for a cup of coffee with someone or maybe go out for a drink. We have this little teacup here that's showing up. To me, the teacup is also making tea, being really focused on, it's funny, cooking, baking, but it's just the cup. To me, it's making me think of the Three of Cups card, and it's like a very social card. I also see some of you traveling. I found this really interesting. It's like a little. It says Hawaii on it. Keychain. And in my apartment complex, and it's kind of bent out of shape, but I kept it. And I don't know. So some of you, it's the letter T, but it's to me it's something that it's about traveling. Or wanting to get away. For some of you, it's like an element of like wanting to escape maybe your living situation or your life in some way. Like maybe it's like, you want to kind of get away, or maybe there's a vibe about like wanting to escape in some way. Some of you, okay, so we have this awesome charm, which is about the mama bear. This once said mama bear on it, and I don't know, it was like two pieces, but the other part came off, and it's still like a little bear charm. And the bear might be symbolic for you in some way. The bear is very symbolic and special to me because at a time where I felt very vulnerable, the bear spirit came in to be protective of me. I felt very, very vulnerable. I had gotten actually into an argument with a female family member and was very distressed for like 2 or 3 days. And the bears came in and they kind of filled up my apartment and comforted me. And I developed this relationship to this female bear who I call Mama Bear. And she became very, very special to me. And she was there for me. And to me, this is about becoming a mother. For those of you who are childbearing age, I feel like this indicates a pregnancy. Maybe it's been a long time coming, or maybe this is one of those things where this is something that you want. But becoming a mother, for those of you who are watching, there may be someone who's actually pregnant or about to give birth to a child. Could be child number 1, 2, 3. For some of you, this is having multiple children. Could even be like your 5th or 6th child. I mean, depending on your situation. But to me, this is pregnancy for some and becoming a mother. And it's the thing is I got this charm because I wanted there to be a charm that represented actually becoming a mother, and it actually happening. And so for those of you who need to hear the words, I feel like some of you are going to become a mother. You're going to have a child. Now, some of you may actually adopt, but I feel like for most of you that are watching, this is actually physically having a child. There's also something about parenting here. It's funny that I was talking about, living situations and stuff like that. So there's something about parenting here. Make sure you are keeping a schedule. I feel like parents that kind of keep run a tight ship and have routines and rules and boundaries and keep a schedule and kind of keep things going, do the best. There are other parents that like let their kids run wild and the house is a total disaster. But again, that's not teaching the kids respect, and it's not being respectful to yourself too. So I want to say that. There is so many other things that are coming through here. We have this feather rune. And the feather rune is about messages, so like texting, emails, back and forth, a lot of communication. There's two, so there's going to be a lot of communication for you at this time. You may be texting a lot, emailing a lot, just doing a lot on social media for some of you, but a lot of communication. There's also this red thread, which is very special because, and I put it in here, I forgot that it was in here, because I wanted to have it in here as a representation of the potential to get married. And the red thread symbolizes like a hand tying ceremony. Some people, I don't know, do hand tying ceremonies where you put your hands together with somebody else, and you do like it's like a hand tie thing, which kind of represents your bond, which represents your vows, and you being together with another person. So some of you that are watching may end up actually getting married. Or for some of you, you'd have a very special sacred bond, very strong bond with somebody. But I feel like for most of you, it's getting married. It's the marriage. It's saying your vows. It's a ceremony of some kind. Now, some of you, it may not actually be like the traditional wedding. Like it might not be a traditional like white dress. Like it could be where you go and you say your vows in front of people, and it's more of just a non-traditional type wedding. To me it is more non-traditional. So for some of you it's having a kind of a non-traditional type thing. For some of you, I feel like you are already in a relationship but you just haven't gotten married. I don't know why. So a lot of people do that. So some of you, like it represents you actually getting married to someone who you have a very special bond with. There is this beautiful couple that lives in Sweden. I cannot pronounce the name of their YouTube channel, but it's a beautiful couple, and they did a hand tying ceremony recently, actually. I don't know, when I say recently, it could be like 6 months ago, but it was on their channel, and I started crying when I saw it because it was like they were both walking together from different places, and they did this like hand tying thing with like, I don't know if it was a scarf or was a piece of material in the forest. And it's so beautiful. And I just felt like their bond is so special. I don't know, like it was just very beautiful to me. So that is showing up here. Getting married is showing up. There's a lot about the pregnancy here. There's a lot about pregnancy. If you have a child, it's going to be a very old soul. Very old soul. And you may have waited a long time to have this child. Again, you might be older, 30s or 40s, having a child. To me, it's a very special child, very special soul. That's what I see. There is a person in spirit that wants to come through that may have had kind of a tragic or sudden passing. So they may have been very young when they passed. You'll know who this is if you're watching. To me, it's someone who's younger, that was younger when they passed. It could have been from anything from like, um, like an overdose of some kind. It could have been from like taking their own life. It could have been from like an accident of some kind. Um, I'm getting that the most, some sort of accident. I don't know what that would be, but that's what's coming through. For someone, you're going to absolutely know who this is. Um, and I feel like they're very supportive of your finances and like they're maybe like helping you find a job or helping you, I don't know, create more income. I'm seeing that. Um, there is, I want to say, an uncle that's coming through that may be elderly, and that they are going to be passing away. They may actually leave you some money too. I don't know about the money. I feel, to me, it's there's a question about the money. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, I'm not getting more in that. My guides are quiet about that. So it might be actually some sort of surprise. Or it's like they leave you some money or something and it's kind of a surprise to you. Like where you get a call and says, "Hey, are you so and so? I'm the attorney for this estate and this person has left you I don't know how much money and it might be quite a lot of money." This is someone that's close to you in some way or someone that loved you. Um as a person, you may be in touch with them or you may not be in touch with them. It just really gonna depend. But there's a lot of love coming through that I feel, and yeah, just like there's a strong connection there. I'm gonna pull like a rune and see what I get for the runes, and then I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna check my chat though. How's my audio? Forgot to check my audio. Okay, so I'm pulling a rune. So this is the rune that I pulled. And this is interesting, reversed flow. Just a minute. Okay, so Vagus is the rune, and it says a counsel against overreach and excessive striving. Drawing flow reverse is a warning against trying to exceed your own strength or operate beyond the power you have funded to date in your life. It indicates a failure to draw upon the wisdom of instinct. As a result, the intuitive side of your nature may be languishing, leaving you out of balance. What is called for now is to go within, to honor the receptive side of your warrior nature. Okay, so I really understand this like a lot. Okay, so I feel like it's something that I've been actually trying to cultivate more with myself. Females, there is a woman, her name is Natasha. Those of you who watch my channel and you are single and you're looking for love and it hasn't happened yet for whatever reason, I would definitely encourage you to check out Natasha because she talks about the feminine energy and really how to improve your feminine side. And everybody can improve their feminine side by becoming more open and instead of like giving or like pressing forward or trying to control things, really pulling back and really doing things from like the intuitive space. Now, some of you like you could be a male and watching this, needs to really balance. Like you could be actually a feminine male and you need to balance like almost a lack of taking initiative, doing things that call to you, just going and doing it. Maybe like some of you are overthinkers or over planners, or like you deny yourself, like for whatever reason, that 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 instinct to like go say hi to someone, or like go take a drive somewhere, or go buy something that you wanted, or what I mean, call somebody up and say hi. Like to me, it's a it's a balance of feminine energy. So females, you can develop more receptiveness. And there was a great video on this that I watched, and she was freaking awesome. And I'm gonna try to see if I can find it and put it in the comments below. Um, for females. For men, I feel like um anybody who has a strong like Gemini placement or Aquarius placement, or for some Leo placement, um for even Libra, like male or female, I feel like there's a strong thing about needing just to take initiative. Do something randomly without it being in the plan. There's a sort of thing about like hyper organization or hyper control, or like hyper like vigilance. People would say you have to, in order to get to where you're going, you have to go slow. Which is also something else. A lot of us are trying, like, again, striving, struggling, reaching. I used to like say, like, when I worked in this one place, that like, after like I'd get my paycheck, I would basically spend it all within 2 days. It would all, like, everything would be spent. I'd put it all towards my rent and my bills, and there would be nothing left over. And for the next like 2 weeks, I would be dying. I'd be stretching. Like I was taking a long leap from third base into home plate, reaching for home plate, and it was just like, finally when I get there, after 2 weeks of striving and stretching and struggling and reaching, I'd have like 2 relief, and then the process would start all over again. So some of you really are reaching, like you're reaching, you're trying. You could be like me, where it's like maybe social media wise, you're like a fish trying to go upstream. You're reaching, you're diving into home plate, and it's just, I'm not going to tell you to stop. I can't, because I myself have modes and days where it's just like I'm like cranking away. It's like, the pedal is like fully pressed forward, and there is no stopping me. But it leads to exhaustion. It leads to my exhaustion. And it leads to me feeling depleted and frustrated, and like, why is nothing working? Why am I trying so hard? Why does nobody hear me? Does the algorithm suck so badly? Why is it so hard for me to get to XYZ? Why is it so hard for me to do da da da? And it's just like, for some of you, you're in that same place, and for others, you're just trying to balance it. You're just needing to balance it. So you're trying to get stuff done, but not go about it in an extreme kind of way. You're trying to like breathe and relax, but at the same time, make sure things are getting done. So it's a difficult time. It's a challenging time. The planets are not, in my opinion, helpful right now. But I would tell you to give yourself like breathing room to do what calls to you. Do what you feel like doing. Do what feels good. And that's your flow. Now, not all of us are able we can't afford to just flow into buying whatever we want or flow into doing whatever we want all the time. And that's where the balance point is. So, my suggestion to you is find your flow, allow yourself to do stuff that's going to bring you some joy, that's going to bring you some happiness without putting yourself under pressure too much. I feel like there's someone who's watching that's kind of got some intense energy, and there's a lot, they're like hyper intense. Some of them, someone who's watching has a little bit of ADD where it's just like maybe they're going a lot, they're going and going a lot. And that very much forces the energy. It doesn't allow, again, that doesn't allow for the receptive, it doesn't allow for things to come in. So please just try to remember that I'm trying to encourage everyone to find their balance point. I think that's all for now. Thank you guys for watching so much. I appreciate it so much. I'll be back again for more videos, so stay tuned. Please donate. Please subscribe, like, comment, share, all that stuff. It really helps my channel. And yeah, I'll be back again for more videos, so stay tuned. I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. All right, take care. All the best. Bye.